Hello, class. I received a question that was looking for guidance or help trying to determine the area under the standard normal curve that lies between two z-scores. And specifically, the question wanted to know where is the table that will help you with this. So I have two things to say. One, I'll show you how to find the table. But two, I'm going to show you how to use StatCrunch so you don't need the table, or so you won't need the table. Okay, so if you go into your StatCrunch or your MyLab, we can find the textbook. All right, so hold on for 1 second while I open up the textbook. Okay, so here's one of my courses, and if I go down to chapter contents, I think it's in the appendix. So I'll scroll down to Appendix A, View Appendix A. Looks like a new tab's going to open up. And I am at my table. So here's table 1. I think table 5 is somewhere around A11. So I'm just going to type A11 and see what happens. And sure enough, here's table 5. So while we have the table open, let's go back to our question. Find the area under the normal curve that lies between negative 2.28 and 2.28. So if we go back to our book, if I go down to negative 2.28, so here's negative 2.2, and the 0.8 or the 0.08 is here. So I have to actually go down to the negative 2.2 and over, and you'll see I have a value of 0.0113. So record that value, just write that down, 0.0113. And then the other value was a positive 2.28. So in my table, I have to actually go to the next page, and I go to positive 2.28, and you'll see another value. This is 0.9887. All right, so remember, we're finding these values show you the area to the left of your point. So when I go to 2.28, this 0.9887 value is essentially the area from this value all the way to the left. But we actually want the area between 2 points. So we would really have to subtract, right? If I took the 0.988, all of this, and I subtract the area to the left of the negative point, 2.28, I'd be left with the area in the middle. Okay, so the quicker way to do this using StatCrunch would be, well, let's open up StatCrunch. And if I press Stat, and we can go down to Calculators, Normal, because it's the normal curve. All right, there's a graph. So I want to see what was to the left of negative 2.28. I press Compute, and notice we get the same value, right? The 0.011, right, from our appendix. Let's just go back. 2.28. Right, we have the 0.0113. That matches what we've done in StatCrunch. Right, so this area to the left is that red. I'm going to open another picture just so you can see what we're talking about. Calculators, normal. Okay, now if I were to put in positive 2.28, see, the first thing that happens is it gives me the area all the way down. But remember, we want the area between this line and this line, right, this middle part. So what would happen if I put in greater than or equal to 2.28? You see how I get the areas that are to the outside, there's this red shaded area? Basically, everything that's in between here and here would be my answer. So I could actually double the value. I could say 0.01130 times 2, and then subtract that from 1. Because remember, the area under the entire curve is 1. So if I were to do 1 minus this value and this value, that would leave me with the middle area. Right, so the 0.113 times 2, and I subtract 1 minus that value. So I'm thinking that the area in the middle would be 0.9774. Now we can check that by pressing one of these buttons. See how it says Standard and Between? If I press Between and I type in negative 2.28, and positive 2.28, and I compute, see how we have the area under the middle, and you end up with 0.977, which is what we did by hand. Okay, so I think using StatCrunch is probably the way to go as opposed to using the tables. But whatever works for you, just use whatever method you're most comfortable with. Thank you for watching.